Hi there. Today I am going to be talking about what not to do on LinkedIn. I think of all the platforms, LinkedIn has the most people saying the most things about the most random tips, tricks, and hacks. And the truth is, none of us really know. The thing is that none of us really can test it because everything you do on LinkedIn is so nuanced to your particular profile, your particular audience, the thing that you're actually posting about. For example, people say, oh, you should write like this or you should post at this time. How do people even know? Yes, if you work with hundreds of thousands of clients, you might be able to see some trends. But apart from that, every single post, every single connection request involves human beings, involves people who with their own set of values and beliefs and behaviors. It has so many variables in terms of the time the post is done, in terms of what person's doing at the time, whether they react to it and stuff like that, that I really want you to stop worrying about the detail, the little tiny nuances of LinkedIn. And I want you to look at the big picture. Now, as we know, I'm all about the big picture, about getting LinkedIn a headline and profile that talks your ideal client, and then doing 3 things a day to get more people to see your headline. More people see your headline, the more people click on your headline. The more people that click on your headline read your profile, the more people that read your profile send you a message to buy your stuff. And that's what it's all about. It's all about getting people to message you on LinkedIn saying, I've seen XYZ, seen you around, basically. What's the next step so we can work together? By the time they get to you, they should know what you sell, what's in it for them, how you're going to deliver it, and how much you're going to charge them. So there shouldn't be any overcoming any objections. By the time someone gets to you on LinkedIn, if you follow my process, they should absolutely be a yes. And the question is just, how do we make this happen? So I wanted to talk about what not to do on LinkedIn, because I think the overthinking and the obsession with the micro detail on LinkedIn is actually the thing that stops people getting the result, because they get so tied up in these kind of small elements of LinkedIn. And a lot of people will tell you these are important. And I'm just here to tell you, other opinions are available, other strategies on how to use LinkedIn are available. But in my world, these things do not matter. So we can take them off the table and forget about them, which is great, right? So first thing I want to talk about is business pages. So on a lot of the other social media platforms, you either have a personal profile or a business page, or you have a business page. And it's the same on LinkedIn. You have a personal profile and you can create a business page. Now, a lot of people see this and they think, great, I'm going to have a business page. I'm going to grow it for that business. Now, the reality in my experience is that business pages are extremely hard to get traction on. And the reason why they're hard to get traction on is mainly because you can't do anything with them except put out content. You can post about them from your personal page and ask people to follow them, but you can't ask to connect with people as your business page yet. You might be able to in the future. You can't engage with other people's posts as a business page. Again, you may be able to do so in the future. So ultimately, all you can do is ask people to follow it from your personal and then put out content. So it's very, very difficult in my experience to get traction on them. So I don't have a business page, and I don't recommend people have a business page, because for me, the effort is not worth the return. And the way to really check this is ask people how many business pages they follow on LinkedIn and why. And the answer is usually none or very few, or just people that I want to work with or people I'm trying to sell to, in which it makes sense. But for you as an entrepreneur looking to get leads from LinkedIn, forget business pages. We're going to do all on our personal page, which is great in one way, because it means we can just focus on that one thing, but also means you do need to pick which business or which element of your business you're going to focus on. But again, this makes this really clean and clear. So we're going to not worry about business pages, and we're going to do it all from our personal account, which is cool. So business pages, they're going in room 101 for me. Okay, the other thing that is really common that people believe is really important, but I actually think the opposite, is personalized connection requests. I don't believe you should or need to write a personalized connection request to get people to accept, because I teach people to write headlines that talk to our ideal clients. So the headline does the heavy lifting for us. And ultimately, when you think about it, what can you actually write in a personalized connection request that isn't odd? Because there's 2 ways you can approach it. You can do your research, you can find out about the person, you can write a really nuanced personal personalized, truly personalized connection request. It talks about how you know who they are and what they're about, and you've seen their stuff. That's a bit odd to put that much effort into somebody you just want to connect with. Or you can write a more generic thing, is like, oh, we're in the same sort of industry, I'd like to connect, which is just odd as well. So I say, let's put those in the bin, because we're going to focus on the core things. And asking to connect with people every single day absolutely is one of the core things, but we don't need to write a personalized connection request. So that should save you a lot of time and thinking time, which is all about maximum return for the minimum effort, basically. So we put those in the bin as well. Now, the other thing I don't want you to do on LinkedIn, which I know a lot of people do and a lot of people rave about, and that is automation. So automation software or automation plugins that you can get, Chrome extensions and stuff. I've seen them all over the years. Everything from like LinkedIn Helper back in the day, right through to some much more modern and specialist stuff I'm sure is on the market today. However, two problems with automation. So automation normally will send connection requests for you. It will maybe comment on posts for you. It maybe send DMs for you, all that kind of stuff, right? It's very clever, but it's also massively against LinkedIn's terms of service. So number one is it runs the risk of having your account shut down. Now, automation people will tell you that's not true. My experience, if I can only share my experience, it definitely is true. You can get your account blocked and banned, and LinkedIn are ruthless. Once they ban you, you're banned, like from that IP forever. They're not as Facebook can be negotiated with. LinkedIn tends to be pretty brutal. Once they've decided you're not part of the platform, that is usually it. And the second reason why I don't like automation, and I don't talk about it or teach it particularly or use it myself, is because it's really easy to get it wrong. It's really easy to allow it to tempt you to spam people. Just think, I could just send this message to thousands of people, and then ultimately you're spamming people. And or you could think, well, I could just use it to send messages to all these people, but ultimately you might message somebody you on the phone to. That happened to me once when I was on the phone to a guy who does LinkedIn automation. I was like, you just messaged me and we're on the phone. It just shows it can trip you up very easily. You might send something to an existing client or something like that. It's just not for me. So you may use it if you wish, obviously, as with all my stuff, but I don't recommend it, definitely. And so the other thing I would say we're not going to look at the moment is paying for either premium or paying for LinkedIn ads at the moment. This is for, people who are quite new to LinkedIn. Ads have definitely got their place. I'm a shareholder in a social media ads agency, so I definitely got the place. But for the majority of people that I meet, it's not the way to go right now, because the organic stuff on LinkedIn works really, really well. And the other thing about premium is, yes, it does grease the wheels. So it does allow you to do more searches and things like that and see more data. But ultimately, not enough of a game changer for everyone to need it. Certainly, as they're starting building their audience, you can get a long way without needing it. If you've got particular searches that you really want to do, so for example, you only want to work with people who are in manufacturing, who've got companies with over 250 employees who've recently been in the news, then something like Sales Navigator is amazing. But again, most people don't need it. So it's not, the thing with LinkedIn, it's not really pay to play. It doesn't make it work any better if you pay. It just means that it does make it a bit easier. It doesn't mean you don't make more money by paying more money to LinkedIn. You make the money by doing the work on LinkedIn, whether you pay or not. So again, that can save people a lot of time and money, which is cool. And the other thing, which is so disappointing to me to say we're not going to worry about on LinkedIn, and that is groups, because LinkedIn groups should be fantastic, but they're just not. And don't know why. And I'm open to being shown that I'm wrong. So if you're in a LinkedIn group that's bouncing, everyone's buzzing in there's loads of communication, there's loads of engagement in there, and it's really good, and people are getting a load of value out of the community, please send me the links, right? Because I want groups to be really good on LinkedIn, but they just like tumbleweed. And I don't even know why it is. I think LinkedIn created this big thing about how they were going to invest heavily in groups, but I've not really seen that so far. But again, I'm open to be wrong. But for now, the way that I use groups, or the way I teach groups, is to get yourself in the 50 you're allowed to. Yeah, of course. And that is where your ideal clients hang out, which is amazing. They're not doing anything, but at least you can find them. So you can go and you can connect with people who you're in a group with. LinkedIn will allow you to do that because you've got that group in common. So they can be useful, but not something I would spend a lot of time focusing on, definitely. And then the other thing, which again I see a lot of, is not to engage with engagement pods. any kind of LinkedIn engagement pod or like ladders where you all like and comment on each other's stuff, maybe in a group, maybe a WhatsApp group. Again, I've tried these things. I've been in LinkedIn a long time. But do you really want a load of randoms commenting on your stuff because they have to? And do you want to spend your time commenting on random stuff because you have to? Do you? Is that really the right thing to do? Or is it better to just focus on what you're doing and just build your audience organically and naturally and get your engagement as it comes, because then you can know what your audience really want. So engagement pods, not a fan. And then the biggie that I say let's not do on LinkedIn is send DMs. So unless there's very rare occasions, I don't DM people that just connected with me and say thanks for connecting, because why? I don't respond to people that I connect with who say thanks for connecting, because why? And I don't pitch people in the DMs. The only time I really DM somebody is maybe when I've done a poll and they've said, yeah, I'd be really interested in hearing about this. Then I'll DM them and be like, thanks for voting on my poll. Here's my thing, right? So I do send some DMs, and I sent a voice note DM today to somebody who just connected with me because I just was blown away by how good her headline is. So it's not like they're banned, but as a strategy, DMing everybody all the time just to build relationships and pitch them your stuff is like such an exhausting way to use LinkedIn. It gets very tiring very quick to be relentlessly rejected. So we don't send DMs. We allow people to come to us when they're ready. So it's just a different energy. Does DMing people on LinkedIn work? Of course it does. Just like standing outside of Asda and asking people if they've got Sky TV works, just like cold calling works, just like going up to everyone you meet in the street and asking them if they want to buy your thing works. But how does it feel for you? I'm all about the energetics, right? So I want LinkedIn marketing to feel fun and easy and enjoyable. Does DMing people get you leads? Yeah, of course it does. But it also leads to a lot of rejection, a lot of reputational damage. And ultimately, it's all a bit cringe. Like, I like clients who become friends. I don't want to be friends with everyone in the hopes they'll become clients. So it's just about time mainly, but also reputation as well. And then when we get all that off the table, it becomes a lot clearer, right? It becomes a lot cleaner, a lot easier to use, right? It's a lot of overthinking is taken out the game, which is great. And then the other two things I wanted to talk about today are more of a mind game. So the questions I get asked a lot is about what's the best time to post and what should I post, etc. Now, I talk a lot about content, not for this session, but I've got 4 pillars of content that I talk about: stories, video, social proof, call to action. And I like to see a range of content, right? However, what I really want to see is you showing up. And I want you to be consistent, and I want you to show up consistently. And I want you to show people how they can get to know you, like you, trust you, and buy from you, right? What I don't want you to worry about is what time are you putting these posts out. Put them all out at once if you wish. Put them all out across the day if you wish. Do 1 post a day if you wish. Do 10 posts a day if you wish. Whatever you wish, right? Again, a lot of people will say they know a lot about what time to post and how important it is and how the LinkedIn algorithm works. What I would say to that is nobody truly knows how the LinkedIn algorithm works. And that is just the truth. Nobody knows. I don't know. You don't know. All LinkedIn experts of whatever caliber they feel they are don't really truly know, because like I said at the beginning, all of those variables, what works for one person might not work for another. You might be able to, I do my posts. I do at least 1 post a day. I try and aim for about 4-ish, because that lets me do my 4 pillars: a story of some kind, of video, some kind, social proof, and a call to action. I like to be selling every day. So that's my rhythm, if you like. That's my cadence of posting. And what works for me might not work for you. So it is trial and error. But if you don't post for a long time, people will just instantly forget about you. So I think even if you're busy and you're comfortable and you don't need any more clients, I still think putting something out every day, is the good practice. I don't force people to post all day every day. Like, it's up to you. I like to do about 4-ish posts a day. If I'm in launch, I'll do more. But I post all of mine at once, pretty much. So when I'm like, so this is how I do, and I'll do another session on how I actually do my LinkedIn. It's like, I go into LinkedIn, I do my connection requests, I do my engagement, I do my comments on other people's posts, and then I do my posts. Or I do my post and the comments. But I do a story, a video, social proof, a call to action, and I get out. And I'm done for the day. Now, would I get better results if I spread them out? Maybe. but I'm about what works for me. I don't want to be spreading content out over the week. I don't want to be faffing about with schedulers and potentially affecting my reach. I just want to do my posts every day and I'm done, you know? And that's really what I want for you as well. I want you to feel like I just get in and do my LinkedIn and I'm done. That for me, over many years of not only doing it for myself, but coaching and mentoring thousands of people, many thousands of people over the years, that seems to really work as a discipline. Just get in, do your posts, do your content, do your comments, do your connection requests, and get out. Yeah, go back in later and you can have conversations, you can look in your DMs and all that, but it's a discipline, just like going to the gym. Just go in, lift the weights up and down, run on the machine and get out. It's like, is it better for me if I eat at this time or if I work out at that time? Possibly, but the thing is that a lot of people get so obsessed with how am I doing this? They don't get around to doing it. So it's all about discipline for me, and it's all about activity. So we're not going to worry about what time to post or even how much to post, as long as we're posting every day of some kind. And then the other thing, which is definitely a mindset thing, is worrying about what other people think. So a big thing that holds people back is, what will people think? What will people say? What if people think I'm too expensive, I'm too cheap, I'm too quiet, I'm too busy, I'm on too much, I post too much, I sell too much, I talk too much, I do too many videos, I don't do enough videos. Like, what will people think? And again, when you look at it as a discipline, and I'm just going to go and do my thing, I'm not going to worry about what people think, it becomes a whole lot easier. I believe the more you are, the better this works. The more yourself you are, the more people will feel magnetized towards you or repelled, which is fine. A lot of people don't like me, and that's fine. They don't need to email me and tell me, but still, they can just not watch my stuff. People think I post too much. Fine. They must be seeing a lot of posts, which for me is a good thing, right? But most people who buy from me love my stuff, watch all my videos, read all my stuff, when they see it. And then the people that buy from me, they're my ideal clients. And it's the same for you. What does your ideal client think? Because no ideal client ever comes to you and says, you post too much, or you talk too much, or you put too much personal stuff on. Like, they don't, because they're your ideal client. The only people who say those things who aren't your ideal client, and therefore their opinion is irrelevant. They're not paying your bills, right? So I know I've seen a lot of people get either caught up in what people might be saying or thinking, or what they actually do. So, for example, one of my lovely clients who's really prolific on LinkedIn, she posts all the time. I see her on there all the time. Someone, in fact, someone came up to her at an event and said, you post too much. I see your posts all the time. And she was like, well, good. That's what I want. And she's like, yes, but you don't understand. Like, if you post like that, the algorithm eats itself and it doesn't show you posts for everyone. And my client was like, but you saw all the posts. That's why you're commenting on it. And she was like, yeah, I saw the post. And she was like, well, good. That's what I want. So it's kind of, if you post a lot and people see a lot, you post, good. If you put personal stuff on and people don't like that, good. If you yourself and people don't like it, good. But people will like you and people will buy from you. And you can put business stuff, personal stuff. You can put funny stuff on. You can put really serious stuff. You can do thought leadership stuff. You can do silly jokes. You can do silly polls. You can do whatever you want on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is not the boss of you, and other people's opinions are not the boss of you. It's your own personal LinkedIn profile. You can do, say, be anything you want on there. There are no rules. There's no such thing as the LinkedIn police. So I think once you understand that and you think, well, actually, you know what? I'm just posting on LinkedIn. It's no biggie. It's okay. It's not like life and death. I'm not like making these crucial decisions. I'm just going to do what Helen says. I'm just going to show up. I'm going to do my thing. And if it feels uncomfortable, that's okay. As long as I do my thing, right? Doing is more important than how you feel. So I call it like mission over mindset in the moment. So there's always going to be days when you don't want to do your LinkedIn. There's always going to be days when it doesn't feel like it's flowing. There's always going to be days where something else has happened and today doesn't feel like the day. But when you just do the thing, regardless of what's going on, and you just show up relentlessly, that's the consistency that makes LinkedIn work. That's the magic secret. It's not a quick fix. It's not sexy, but that's the secret. Consistency wins. And not doing a lot of these things really gives you the time to focus on the important things, which to me are having a headline and profile that talks to your ideal client, growing your audience every day, engaging with your audience every day, and putting out content for your audience every single day, consistently. And that is what will work. And then over time, people will message you and say, I've been following you for ages. I've seen all your stuff. How do we work together? And there's your lead. And it's a beautiful, enjoyable process to onboard them, because they're not comparing you. They've not got objections. They're not like shopping. They've seen you and they're ready to buy. So it's all good. Enjoy. So that's today's topic, what not to do on LinkedIn. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Send me a message and let me know what you think.